Well, National Bohemian is to Baltimore as this brand is to Minnesota and Wisconsin. This is Hamm's premium beer. Been around for years and years, since 1865. Now, currently it's owned by Miller Brewing, but it was founded in 1865 by a guy named Theodore Hamm, who was a German immigrant. So many of these older breweries were founded by German immigrants. He inherited the Excelsior Brewery, and that was in Minnesota. It kind of changed hands a little bit to, I believe, the Pabst Brewing Company back in 1968, or at least somewhere around that time frame, and then it was bought out by Miller in 1999. The thing I love about the macro breweries is they do keep a lot of these, traditional names around when they acquire them. National Bohemian, I think, is owned by Pabst now. And a few other cases as well. So that is a testament to some of the macro breweries. They could just kind of throw them by the wayside and do what they want with them, just have their regular Miller Lite or whatever, but they do appease those that kind of grew up with this beer. So this is Hamm's. This is the old style logo, and this is an American adjunct lager, which is basically light-bodied, fizzy, pale-colored. Of course, macro breweries take into consideration money. It's cheap to make. They use cereal adjuncts like rice and corn and stuff like that, which is a lot less money than using some of the real strains of barley and hops that the Euro lagers use. It's all about consumption and profitability and macro selling, basically. So that's what these beers are all about. No big mystery about that, and more along the lines of consumption rather than in flavor. Hamm's had a very unique, interesting, not unique, but a very interesting ad campaign back in the advent of television in the Minnesota and Wisconsin areas. They had a mascot known as the Hamm's Beer Bear. They had a jingle as well with their commercials, so everyone in Minnesota and Wisconsin really grew up back in the day, with those commercials. So they know this brand very well. I'm sure it's still pretty much consumed probably in those areas, much more than in this area, which is Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from. So here is the logo for Hamm's, and drinking out of a can. You can basically, it's a lawnmower beer, 30-pack will cost you like $11 to $13. It's really cheap. We're going to drink this one out of a mug, which is totally fair game. Obviously, any vessel other than a fancy vessel for a beer like this. And we see a very pale-colored lager, and very fizzy. Basically, perfect description for your American adjunct lager. Pretty much a little more golden than the piss yellow color of Coors Light, which we reviewed a little while ago. Very, fizzy kind of head. It's not a very fluffy head. It's very fizzy. Carbonation is high in these kind of beers. Let's pour it all the way up to the top. And let's get the aroma now of Hamm's beer, America's classic premium beer born in the land of sky blue waters. Land of sky blue waters. That's their catchphrase there. Yep, just getting that American adjunct rice and corn smell. Kind of reminds me of the smell of rice and corn smell of Yuengling Premium Lager. Kind of the same concept, just about the same kind of aroma. Nothing special here as far as aroma goes, just complete lawnmower beer kind of smell, and let's see if it's a lawnmower beer kind of taste. There is a bit of a taste to this beer that's a little more full than a Yuengling Premium Lager. Or not Premium Lager, Yuengling Premium. Hamm's Premium, I would give it a bit of a notch up. I mean, for what it is, and there's a time and place for this beer, as we mentioned with Coors Light. That's why I consider myself more of a beer nerd rather than a beer snob. I'll drink anything. Definitely a time and place. This is a barbecue beer. This is an outside 95-degree beer. You know, you're not going to sit down and have a Doppelbock in 95-degree weather outside while you're cooking, you know, hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill. This is the kind of beer that has that time and place for that. I really like the taste of this beer. No awful aftertaste. I mean, it's just what you want out of a beer in this style. You're not expecting the world, of course, out of this style. You're not expecting the world out of 30 beers for $11. But as far as this style, I think this is as good as it gets. So I'm going to give Hamm's premium beer overall a 6 out of 10.